Now, do you want to know something embarrassing? I forgot to press record, so I'm going to have to do that all again. All right, hang on. That was the warm up. All good games need a warm up. All right, take those. Hello, and welcome to the channel. Welcome to another professionally conducted interview in an installment in our Gaming War Stories series. Today we have Deadheart, who is a North American player of some note. I first got to know Deadheart at some stage last year as I'm a moderator for Jokester, the content creator for COD Mobile, for his YouTube channel, for his live stream. And she was in the live chat, and it became pretty apparent that she was in the opposition to Jokester's team and was killing him here and there with a Pharaoh of all guns. So I started reaching out, saying, hey, let's actually get that Pharaoh load out. I think in my mind, maybe I thought if I could have got that, I could get Jokester to use it, actually. But she never replied. I think I scared her off or something, and then didn't really see much of her. She was using her real name on the channel that she was using to interact with, and then this character Deadheart turned up sometime later, and it became pretty apparent as I started watching her comments and stuff. It's like, I think I know this person, and it turned out it was one and the same. But what really got me interested was she mentioned she only had one hand. She played the game with one hand, which just blew my mind because I can barely play with regular claws, basically. And as a moderator for Jokester, I have the ability to see if people have got a YouTube channel. I can click through and see that. So I was able to check out her stuff, and she actually had a video there showing how she does exactly that, play with one hand.
So as you see, I was born without a left hand, so this is how it is.
Which I found incredibly fascinating. And she's become a friend of Jokester's SxC Clan since. She knows a lot of the members. She's also a member of Jokester's Livestream.
Oh wait, that's Deadheart. Chat, that's Deadheart. She's one of her members.
All right, nailed it this time, Deadheart. Totally didn't have to do a take two on that. So, how are you?
I'm doing all right. It's 4 a.m.
Yes, I'm in New Zealand. I'm in Auckland, New Zealand, and you're in Indiana.
Yeah, Indiana, USA.
Yes, which apparently is the middle of nowhere.
Basically, unless you count corn and Walmart every now and then.
That's a party right there.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to press start on this, and while we're queuing, we'll get things underway. So Deadheart's pretty much exclusively an S&D player, unless we force her to play other modes. Sometimes TDM to get a game, yeah. How long have you been playing Call of Duty Mobile?
So that's actually a tricky question. I started playing, I think Season 1, and then I stopped playing for maybe about till Season 3, and then I got back into playing. I was like in between games. I started off with PUBG. Mm-hmm. That was my life basically. So, yeah.
Oh well, we have something in common there too. And how long have you been mobile gaming?
Well, I started off with basically PUBG. So when like maybe 2016. So not that long. Unless you count really Subway Surfers and maybe Flappy Bird, and since maybe high school, so 2011, 2012.
I can relate to that as well. Well, let's start with the one-handed thing. So tell us about that.
Well, I was basically born with one hand. It's been quite difficult throughout the whole years. Finding games to like play with one hand too is also quite difficult too. But it's life. You just kind of have to adjust to it. It's been difficult for job findings too. But with playing games, I guess you kind of have to find just a specific way for you to like have the ability to play, I guess I would say.
So it's your left hand that you're missing?
Yeah. So technically, I just play with one thumb, and I'm constantly on auto run. That's basically how I play. It's really weird, but I somehow manage.
Wait, hang on. You don't use... Okay, so your right hand, you use your thumb.
Yeah, that's
You don't-
basically it.
You don't use any other fingers?
No.
Oh, wow. Okay, this got even more interesting. You're not only a one-handed player, you are literally a one-digit player.
One finger player. That's basically it. I don't use like any claws whatsoever. Um, I had a few friends that try to help me out with trying to develop that, and it's just too difficult for me. So I'm always on auto run, and I use my thumb for everything.
Is there a technical term for I don't know what to describe it. Is it it's not a condition, it's for what you've been born with, basically. Is there a technical term for it?
No, you're just kind of born with it, but in my family household, we kind of call it a special hand,
Okay.
It's special.
And what do you have on the left hand? Just to describe it for the viewers.
Well, you got like these little numb things to indicate your fingers, and that's basically it. Like little bumps.
Yep.
You can barely see the pinky, but it's there.
Do you use that at all for gaming? Do you like even for resting the device, or?
To go onto autorun, to stop on autorun, and then like kind of turn. But like I have to get it on a certain type of angle, which constantly took me forever to like master, I guess I would say.
So do you have a stand, or is it just, how do you have the device? Is it just flat on the on your desk?
No, I hold my phone.
Wow.
I seriously, I always play like laying down or at an angle, so I have my left side pointing up to the ceiling a little more. So, yeah, kind of just at an angle, have the charger to help me support for like just basic stance. And yeah, that's basically how I play.
PUBG, then, I'm guessing, is how you learned to make the HUD work for you, because that's transferable to COD, basically.
Yeah, basically how I learned. I did play like Modern Combat Versus, and then like this other kind of weird shooting game. But that was basically it. I really haven't gone into shooting games a lot. It was just I didn't really like those. My parents always told me, it was like, hey, don't play those kind of games, because we do have like a few family members in the military, so we just kind of did that out of respect.
Really?
Yeah.
That is really interesting.
Yeah, I never even played any shooting games until like 2016, 2015, 16.
Basically, once you were an adult.
Kinda, yeah. But it really just depends. I had to hold it, I had to stop and just like pretend that I was playing like a really safe game, So I guess kind of go behind my parents' back in a way.
Yes.
And just started playing shooting games. But my parents found out that I have been playing PUBG and Call of Duty. They don't like that. But it's just a way to get away from life, I guess I would say.
Did you play PC games before mobile?
Unless you call coolmathgames.com or like my miniclip.com or any of those, really, no.
Yep.
I have tried Warzone, and I do have this mouse by Logitech, and it has buttons on it, and I can like save buttons on it, so I can like slide and then shoot and pre-aim. That would be able to help. I've tried playing a little bit of Warzone. My computer just couldn't handle it, so Otherwise, I would be playing some PC games.
So that's interesting. You've got actually, of course, you can use extra devices and stuff. You can use a keyboard and program that however you want. Mobile is glass essentially, digits and glass. That's it.
Yeah. I mean, there are ways. I've seen some people play like they have special technology to like transfer it over, but I like the challenge. I wanted to commit to that challenge, you know.
Where'd he go? No, he is
I
here.
don't know. Where?
Just there. Got him.
Oh.
I almost ran straight into him. It is quite hard to do an interview and play. I guess these are all legendaries. Yeah.
Yeah. I got 4 kills with the Pharaoh for some reason. I don't understand how I got that. Long side on your left.
Okay, so the other thing I learned just recently was you are adopted.
Yeah, I'm adopted. I was born in Guatemala, so I was not born in the United States. I think I found that out at the age of like 4, 5, when I said to my parents, like, hey, I want to become president. And they totally shot my dreams down, saying like, oh, well, you can't because you're not born in the United States. I was like, oh, thank you for the support. I really appreciate it.
What a way to find out.
Yeah, what a way to find out. That's where I also, we also adopted my brother from there too, so.
Real brother or adopted brother?
Adopted brother. We are 3 days apart. Born in the same year, born 3 days apart. It's crazy. People constantly say, like, will ask us if we're twins or not. Like, just kind of crazy how that kind of happened in a way.
And do you know... sorry, I can see a guy here. Got him. Yeah, so do you know anything about like birth parents, or do you know anything about Guatemala?
Anything about Guatemala? Not really. I can't really remember much about Guatemala. It's just like there's really beautiful views and, you know, beautiful views of the mountains, and the lakes, the ocean. I think that's basically all I can remember. I did visit when I was about 5 years old to get my brother. I wanted to go swimming one time and the pool was freezing cold. He didn't know how to speak English. That was also difficult for our family. So we had to have a You took my kill?
Was that you? Sorry, my bad.
Yes. But there was, it was like a hotel in Eagle's Nest. No, Eagle's Nest was the adoption center where I was. And then we went to a hotel. I really wanted to swim. My brother and my parents were just like, no, it's way too cold. I was just like, what do you mean it's too cold? It's like the perfect temperature. Although I was freezing, so I kind of lied. I just really wanted to swim. Which also goes upon, I can legitimately be certified as a lifeguard. I was on the swim team. I took swimming lessons. Yes, it was difficult, but I found a way to actually swim with only one hand.
Ah, you got me. You learned to swim with one hand. At what age?
The age of like 4. I remember my parents just said, hey, you gotta take swimming lessons here. Oh, there's like a whole squad over here. I'm playing with no audio, just to let you know.
Oh, seriously? Just here, here. Got him. Okay, so growing up with one hand, do you remember at any point being aware that you were different?
Yeah, I right away in kindergarten. or junior kindergarten, I knew that I was different, and my parents were just like, there are going to be people that are going to be rude, and they can't accept the difference. They don't like different, and that's just how people are. You just kind of have to live with it, and your true friends will accept you for who you are. And yeah, I took that kind of to heart. I met some friends to where I believe are my true friends, and I met people who just felt bad for me, and they didn't want, kind of like fake friends. They just felt bad for me and didn't want me to be left alone, I guess I would say, and just would talk behind my back because I was different.
So a sympathy type thing.
Yep.
How do you, as an adult, deal with sympathy now?
That's a good question. Don't feel bad. I'm just as ordinary as you. There are times where I will ask for help, but I will always find a way for me to figure out something difficult. So, like tying my shoe, it took me about a few years to learn how to tie my shoe. Yeah, I still amaze people with how I tie my shoe. They are like, how do you tie your shoe with one hand? I show them and they're like, holy cow, I can't even do it with two.
So you had to work that out yourself, or were you able to get some help there?
I had to work it out myself. My parents were just like, hey, you know what? This is how you tie a shoe. We'll like kind of guide you on how to do it. But like they knew that I can figure it out for myself. So like, what's another example? Like putting on a jacket and zipping it up.
Mm-hmm.
Zipping it up is like difficult for me, but I found a way to like do that, I also help a lot of people with that. There was one woman that came into one of my jobs and asked me, was like, how do you like zip up a zipper? I explained it to her, and like I was like wondering why. She asked me, she was like, oh, there's a little girl that has one hand just like you, and she is struggling with a few things, and she like we're just trying to help her out. Like, what do you suggest? It was like, well, we will like some like guidance, but most of the time we will figure things out ourselves because we just want to be just like normal, be treated just like how normal people are. We don't really want the sympathy. We just want to be treated normal. And yeah, I mean, I get how people are like, oh yeah, you can, well, we will accept help, every now and then, but we just, I guess, want to be treated normal. At least that is for me. I can't explain it for all people,
Gaming's interesting because, like, right now we're talking to each other. That's pretty normal. We're not sitting next to each other observing what we're doing, and so in the day-to-day of playing, I don't think of you as a one-headed player. That's just not in my mind. It's just if you'd never mentioned it, I wouldn't have known. And there's times when I guess it's literally a handicap. In the game, it is at a disadvantage in a game where everyone cares about the frickin' meta, right? What's the best gun and all of that. It's more than just that comes into the play. It could be for someone that has two hands playing with thumbs, so maybe at a disadvantage to someone that's learned claw or claw versus 10 fingers. I don't know. You can draw all the comparisons you want, but that's what I've found very interesting, actually. It's just it's out of mind unless I pause to think about it, basically.
Yeah, I agree. Like, how would I explain it? When I first met Fluffy Panda, who was like a great friend of mine, he had no idea that I played with one hand, and he was just like, how do you do that? I kind of explained it to him as best of my ability, and when he came to visit, he watched me play. He was just like, that's just amazing of how you play. He had so much respect. And like a lot of people, when I tell them, they're like, wow, I have so much respect for you, And I kind of like, I guess, like that, like, because it's difficult to do that, and it's kind of like the next level of people who only have one hand. It's like the next level push of like gaming. Not a lot of people
Yeah.
would expect a one-handed player to play like that.
And at a legendary level, and I mean, I would say, if you're either on the same side as Jokester or on the opposition, you're with the skill-based matchmaking as well. That's at a certain level in the game as well. So it bears noting. It's not just someone playing pub matches or rank and struggling through it. You're actually, I consider, operating at a significantly a rank level. And just worth mentioning, because you mentioned Fluffy, so some of the viewers might not know who he is, although he is featured in a number of my videos. He's in Jokester's members list as well, and I think he's a top tier player.
We connected in a deeper level because we're both adopted, which was pretty cool. And he actually taught me so many like different techniques to become a little bit better, and he helped me become better in COD Mobile, which like I will take full respect of that. Like I will never forget that. I couldn't have gone this far without him, basically.
Actually, that just made me think of something else as well, because okay, so you've got growing up with I don't know whether you call it a disability or a handicap. I don't know what the appropriate term is these days. In my days, when I knew someone who similar, I think we called it like a birth defect back then, and I don't know that that's the PC way of describing it. I've never really heard anyone, but that's essentially it's a thing from birth.
Yeah.
But you've got the adoption side of things as well to throw in on top of that. How much of a thing has that been for you?
I really don't think about it much, about my birth mother and all of that. I kind of it is hard to be accepted with my family because my family is like all white, and if you see a picture of like me and my maybe huge family on my mother's side of like about 60 people, you will see like a whole bunch of white people, and it's like, oh look, there's a little brown person, and then it's just more a bunch of white people. But I really they all really accepted me for who I am, and it's just like a really great experience. They're very warm, welcoming. They won't think of you any different from anyone else, and they I guess would say will treat me like how others would be, and they see like how well I can actually develop and how fast I can learn from just having one hand.
Yeah, you're probably used to people being very curious about you, essentially.
Yeah. Some people do ask a lot, mostly children, and I
of course, yeah,
kind of say oh, I was just born like that, and then there are rude people who are like, oh, I thought you lost it from diabetes, or
what the hell?
Or amputation.
Well, I guess in the States it's probably more common, to be honest. Diabetes is a thing, but you do lose limbs.
I know.
Yeah.
It was this a freaking 80-year-old man who came up to me and was like, oh, I thought you lost from diabetes. I was like, wow, okay. It's funny too, because a lot of my friends were like, well, you should come up with a weird story of you got a shark attack, just
yeah.
The Soul Surfer movie, she also helped me as become confident in myself, because I've always been insecure. I mean, I'm still insecure, but she helped me become more confident. People can still do things, even having a disability,
So Deadheart here, she live streams normally. Well, it's 2:00 my time, so I guess that's 10:00 at night for you. Does that sound about right? Midnight, maybe?
Yeah. And at times I do stream at 2 p.m. My times.
But you were saying, you felt it was important to be a role model for the people that had disabilities.
Yeah, to like really indicate that just because you're different doesn't mean you need to be treated different or like you have the ability to do stuff as what other people are, Don't let really anyone tell you any different because you're you and you'll find the way for what you works, It's hard in today's society because people are quick to judge. And, the only person that really can judge you is basically yourself in all reality,
Mm-hmm.
If a stranger comes up to you and say like, hey, you're really weird, well, don't take that to heart because, you don't know that person.
Everything's
really
normal unless you discover otherwise.
Yeah, it took me a little bit to like tell Fluffy Panda, he was really surprised. There are also a few other people I still haven't told that like, hey, I play with one hand, and like I just kind of keep it a down low, because there's like a lot of questions after that. I mean, it's fine with asking those questions, but like I guess it's kind of tiring at times, But they're like so supportive of me. Some are just like, yeah, you're faking it. You just do it for attention. It's just like, why would I fake something kind of like that specific,
Yes. Do you get that in game, or do you get that like in people's streams and stuff? Where would you get that sort of hate?
I would normally get it in game. So, I think there was one time I was like, hey, hold on, I'm sorry, I'm not doing so well. I play with one hand. I think this was like in the beginning of COD, too. So I just said like, I only play with one hand. I'm sorry if I'm not that well. And they were just like, well, you're lying. You're just trash. I get a lot of back talk. And it's funny too, because I was also top fragging during the time. I didn't say anything to them, but like, they think that I would just do it for attention seeking, and it's just kind of type of person,
Damn it, I didn't get it. Oh, I should have just done it the first time.
Close. You know what? Sometimes I do troll people and be like, hey, I'm doing a lot better than you, and you're only like, you're playing with a meta gun, and I'm playing with a non-meta gun. On top of that, I'm playing with one hand.
Okay, so when I first met you, you were using the Pharaoh. Recently, you've been using the ASVAL and then the crossbow, and you're back using the Pharaoh again. So, you're already at a disadvantage with one hand, and you're making that work. But you want to use non-meta, basically. Explain that.
Basically, you can use any gun, becoming it a meta. It just takes skill or just knowing the gun. With the Pharaoh and the recoil, you gotta control that. With the crossbow, you gotta know. For long range, you're going to have to aim a little bit upward in order to get a headshot or like a good chest shot for that. With the ASVAL, you need to kind of also control the recoil. It just depends on the gun. You can technically use any gun in order to kill people. So like there are certain types of guns that you can't go up against. So like, for instance, if you're using Russ, you can't go up against the Mach 10 in short range, but you can go up against that gun with mid to long range. It's just kind of knowing the disadvantages of the gun and the advantages of the gun.
So it sounds like you give yourself challenges to learn about the game and improve.
Yeah. I like giving myself an extra challenge. I push myself to the limit. Sometimes I over push myself, but I just kind of take it slow, take one step at a time, So that's how I became with the crossbow. I learned with the Pharaoh, and then I kind of learned with a little bit of sniping, and was like, okay, maybe I can take it another step and just try the crossbow, and that's how I technically started playing with the crossbow. Killed a few people, had a lot of like trash talkers saying like, oh, you can't snipe because you're using the crossbow. But apparently I feel like using the crossbow is a lot harder to use than using the sniper.
Yes, well, Jokester recently said he's been killed 4 times with a crossbow, and 3 of them were you.
Yeah.
How did that feel?
Felt like I accomplished something pretty well. It was a great experience doing that, especially doing that crossbow challenge. I could have gotten him, but if I didn't put on this timer bomb thing, sticky grenade, I think it was, I would have gotten that kill.
Yes, because it's a delayed. Yeah.
Yes, it takes time to know the gun, such as doing a few pub matches. Learning how to aim is also a plus too.
And when Jokester does the custom matches, you prefer to be on the opposition.
Yes, I like a challenge.
Yes.
Even though I'm going up against Dan and Jokester, I like a challenge. I know I'm going to lose, but it helps me improve, because if you go up against people who you already know you're going to beat, you're not going to improve much.
It seems pretty obvious that, with one hand, life is a challenge anyway. You've had to problem solve the whole way through your life. You're 22.
22.
Do you have other examples of where you use that sort of mentality to just make things deliberately harder so that you'll learn and improve?
My parents won't be happy about this, but yes, driving. I kind of learned how to drive with like no hands, so I could legitimately like grab a drink or like eat and drive. I don't recommend it whatsoever, but I just wanted to push myself to a challenge. Riding a bike also was a challenge. I always wanted to try riding a bike with like no hands whatsoever, but that didn't go so well. There was a lot of fails and scars and all that.
Yeah. Did you hurt yourself badly at all? I mean, scars sounds pretty bad.
Yeah, I didn't have I have a few scars, but they technically went away over time. But they're like memories. Hold up. Oh yeah, and I couldn't get that. What also really helps me in the game is gun-ho. That really helped me a lot, because I know I'm going to miss most of my shots, because it's very hard for me to like do 1v1s close-up range, that tight turns, doing 180s and just all that. So I normally have gun-ho on all my loadouts to help me out with that. If I am ever in a close situation and I run out of bullets, I can like still glide, still run, and like be able to possibly get that kill.
So it helps with your reloading as well, I'm guessing?
Yeah. Oh my goodness, my frames are bad.
Bomb spotted. Contact with enemy!
Get him.
Contact with enemy!
Nicely done.
Sniper!
There you go. Easy kill.
Has dropped the bomb. We've lost the bomb. Tango down. Enemy in sight.
Got this win.
Very good. Ooh, we won. How did you discover Jokester?
I know the exact challenge that jokester was actually going up against. I was playing with Fluffy Panda during the time, and there was a guy that was killing us with the Renetti, and we were just like, what is this guy on? He's like challenging himself, and like he's incredibly well. Played a few games, like we played one with him and then one against him, and it was crazy. Then my friend messaged me saying like, hey, you do know that you were on YouTube with this guy named Jokester? I was like, who? Yeah, this YouTuber. And I looked him up and I was just like, wow, that's crazy. That's the guy that we played against with the Renetti. So I told Panda that, and he was just like, yo, no way, that's pretty dope.
So you didn't know Jokester? You hadn't heard of him at that point?
Nope.
How long ago was this?
Like last year in the fall.
Woo, I know, right? Yeah, my friend Fox had a similar story. That's how he discovered Jokester. I think playing S&D and just got destroyed by this guy, and that was enough to win his respect, basically. And he was a simp for Jokester ever since, basically. Oh yes, that's the other thing. You're currently working 3 jobs.
Yeah. So I barely have enough time to play COD now. But I'll still try to find time for my subscribers, just to interact, kind of like cheer them up, like, hey, if they have like a bad day, try to make some funny jokes or just kind of content.
Yes.
I make bath bombs at night. I work at a gardening place during the morning, and then the afternoon, evening, night shift, I work at a restaurant.
I'm curious whether there's any games you can't play because of your one-handedness. Whether you've come across any that you just simply is just too hard.
No, never. I always find a way. Although I'm kind of picky with my games. I kind of would play maybe about a game for like a week and be like, oh, I'm bored. All right, time to find a new game. So I showed Fluffy Panda my phone and how many apps, because he was like so curious. I had maybe about 218 apps on my phone, games.
Wow,
that I never deleted.
So what is it about COD that's held your interest this long then?
I guess friends, it's difficult for me to talk to people in real life. So I just started kind of playing on this game to see where it goes and just kind of let it flow, I guess I would say.
I think there's a lot of people that can relate to that. So I'm just wondering about the moment when you actually first started speaking to people in game.
At first, I would just text, and have people add me and just be like, okay, well, let's see where this goes. Will they become a regular thing, or will they just be, here and there, So once they become a regular thing, I start turning on my mic, say hey, there's a person here. There's a person here. And then I shut off my mic, and then just kind of slowly going into the mic phase,
And now you're streaming, talking to people regularly.
Yeah. Wow. I never realized that.
Exactly. And it seems to me very much that you love engaging with you love engaging with people.
Yeah, I do. I really do. Making other people's days better is basically my number one priority. I'm a care person. I care for people a lot. I help people more than I help myself, which is a downer, but I really like helping people and just kind of giving them a laugh or a smile, If I made them laugh or smile, it's just like, great, I did something good and I'm happy. I've always kind of been like that. I guess kind of growing up, taking care of my brother, making my parents satisfied, being accepted, or it feels like you kind of have to help out people because you don't really know what's going on in their lives. And something to brighten their day can like make a huge difference.
How important is it for you to be accepted? Because I imagine you're growing up, that's obviously going to be an issue because you're different, physically different.
It's very important to me. I take that personally. If I don't fit in, I just feel like I'm just a burden or just kind of unwanted in a way, and I just really don't like that feeling. So I try to fit in as best as I can. It's horrible in a way because you kind of change yourself to fit in, and you should technically just be yourself and have people accept you for who you are.
You find that in the gaming community?
In the gaming community, it really depends. With the people that you hang around with, I would say if you talk about skill level and you're going up against people, they're like, hey, you know what, you're not that good. You're going to get kicked. But they would say like, hey, we're just going to swap you out. But really, in reality, they're just kind of saying like, you're not good right now. We're going to kick you out of the group. You just got to find people who will accept your skill level and just like want to help you improve and become better.
Yes, because the gaming side of things can be quite toxic at times. You don't have to go very far either to find someone that's talking trash. We've had some examples of that tonight, which is always funny because it's the person that's bottom fragging. But you can also make some good friendships here as well. And I guess gaming really is a metaphor for life sometimes. That it's this online world, and it's very easy to say it's not real, but in some ways, well, it is, right? It is. The interactions and the feelings and stuff are very real, and you can certainly learn stuff. You're learning stuff. You're learning from the game, but it also teaches you skills, coping mechanisms, all that stuff for in real life as well.
Yeah, like if someone has social anxiety like me, it's difficult to like talk face to face. But if you're behind a screen, it is a lot easier. But there are also downer parts, such as cyberbullying, and that's becoming a bigger issue nowadays, which is very, very sad. But in other ways, it can be like really great and to help people improve like their social skills or just trying to get out there, try to find a group if they're not fitting in at school or anything like that. And
there's also the obvious thing that you're a woman in gaming as well.
Yeah, that's you get a lot of hate for that. If you're a woman, you're automatically horrible, It's fun because I help.
Grenade out!
I just got a grenade kill. And so you had Motek trying to invite you to join SxC just recently.
Yeah, he really wants me to join, and I just got out of it. That was a 3v1 with the Pharaoh SKS. Yeah, he really wants me to join. I'm not really looking for a clan right now. I kind of want to be a lone wolf, see where things are. I'm just way too busy to join a clan right now, but, I enjoy playing with the SxC Clan. It's, like, you guys are fun. You guys are just, like, very energetic, friendly, and outgoing people.
Gotcha. So what's the next challenge for you with regards to COD Mobile?
Getting to be number 1 with the Pharaoh. That's going to take a lot of games.
lot of winning games, isn't it?
A lot.
Okay, so you're 60th on the North American Pharaoh leaderboard now. And how many hours a day do you dedicate to the game?
Nowadays, maybe about 2.5.
How many do you think you'll have to dedicate to get to number 1 on the Pharaoh leaderboard? Because you got 3 jobs, obviously.
I would say maybe about 3 to 4, depending on the wins.
And why did you pick that as your latest challenge?
Because I just want to prove that any gun can technically be a meta gun. Kind of just in that category of knowing a gun and just knowing how to use it in a way. Like I've seen this Mayhem challenge or like championship that Bobby plays was like, hosting like how he normally hosts a lot of championships. But it was just all kilos, CBRs, and M13s. That was basically it. And Mac 10s, there's no other gun. It's just kind of boring. It's going up meta against meta, instead of like actually showing some skill. So like if you think of it as a normal player just saying like, hey, I'm like better than you, but they only use meta gun. If they choose to use a different gun, maybe about 7 times out of 10, like they won't be able to show or perform the same ability as they are doing now with the meta gun.
If there was something that you could change about the game, what would it be?
I don't think there needs to be a lot of change. I would say maybe the gun balance. Persistence will be nerfed next season, as what COD Mobile is developing.
So we'll wrap up the interview side of things. So is there anything else you want to add?
I would just say, don't let other people affect how you are. Just kind of go with the flow. Don't let people get inside of your head. Technically, you can do anything you really want if you work hard for it. And I really hate this Mac 10 person.
Are there any particular things you do that help you stay grounded like that, so you don't let people get inside your head?
I normally just think in game-wise, it's just a game. But in real life-wise, you just kind of ignore it because you don't really know that person. Or if it's a friend who just kind of backtalks you, you just say well, maybe they weren't really a friend at all. And you got to get just the toxic people out of your life and just live with yours. Just basically focus on yourself and kind of learn along the way. Every tough decision that you make or life lesson, it's a learning experience. And some will be harder than others, but that's just how life is.
Yeah.
Don't take life way too seriously. Because if you do, you'll miss out on a lot of chances.
Got them. Sorry, I took your kill.
No, you're fine. I wouldn't be able to get it. It was an AS foul.
Here, behind you.
The bomb has been planted.
Wait. Where are you? Okay, I'm at the bottom stairs.
Okay.
He's on the stairs. Damn it! Go. Heal up. Yeah, he's to the left. Yes!
Well done.
Okay, now we got ourselves a game. Okay, let's win this.
Enemy contact.
Got them.
Contact with enemy.
No! Oh, damn it! Woo! Thank you for the like. We will wrap it up there, but thank you very much for taking part in this gaming war story. Or on SxC TV, it'll be we got a request to join. It'll be an edited version. Thank you. You should get some sleep now.
Yeah. I gotta wake up in like 20 minutes anyway.
Then a nap it is. Those were fun. Those were some fun games. Alrighty, we will see you later.
All right.
Okay.
Later, fam.
See you.